Satchidanand, respected Professor Dave, Singh ji, Dr. Nair, and our chairperson, Dr. Chakravarti, present guests and scholars. Do you realize that everyone who was talking over here was talking the same thing? They meant the same thing. We had been giving examples of people who have lived their life like that. But unless I live my life, so what am I going to talk today is presentation of unity in diversity and the cause of visible diversity in the world. Effect of diversity in human life and living and on ecosystem. Holistic inner science, what is the practical way of dealing with this diversity? Unity in diversity as a true message of love and happiness. And then, of course, we'll go for questions. First of all, as we had been talking and we had been listening, holistic inner science truly, if you really question yourself, am I human? You will get a lot of answers. And it will be very disappointing for your own self to recognize and maybe very difficult to accept also. But life today, because every house is burning, every individual is burning, and if that is not the thing, then the scenario what we see around would have been very different. And we also say that our heart is divided. What we are, we never show, and what we are not, we keep showing and expressing ourselves. Because I'm not living those principles. If I live those principles, I don't have to say. My life becomes my message, which Gandhiji had very well said. See, I'm born in a family, a religious family, where in this world there is no religion. So I'm connected to a family. I'm identified by that family, and my parents become my first relations. My journey begins there. They are connected with the country, so I'm connected as a citizen of that country. I have family, friends, neighbors. I get professional connections, religious connections, and this is what my relations truly constitute my world. And about these relations are nothing but natural obligation of give and take. We all experience that very well, very well. And we know that expectations are there on either side. Nobody can say that I don't have any expectation. And life is nothing but dealing with these relations only. There are 7 billion population today. We have nothing to do with that 7 billion. So don't get upset or disappointed if you listen to any of this CNN or Aaj Tak. It's not going to happen to you. And the world is such, every time something or the other is happening, Because if you observe yourself inside, be a very impartial evaluator or observer, and you will see a lot of things. Not to be displayed, not to be divulged. You don't have to tell anyone, but you can have your own evaluation. And the wonderful thing, all these are nothing but holistic revelations. So, where there is eye-to-eye contact, I'm dead sure we have so many people over here. I'm sure that nobody, each and everyone, haven't met each and everyone over here. We have occasion or any situation we have exchanged even eyesight. Is there something wrong? No, there's nothing wrong. This is the world. Wherever there is connection, there will be an eye-to-eye contact. And wherever there is eye-to-eye contact, there is a relation. And relation means you need to learn to take care of that relation. So, this natural business of giving and taking, and it is nothing but giving and taking of happiness or unhappiness, which is suffering. No one has any escape from this. We can only find ourselves in a mirror, exactly identical person like me. Two individuals are never alike. They look, they believe, they live differently. Fingerprints of every individual are there. That's why it's a great way to identify an individual. Even twins don't have fingerprints. Viewpoints always differ, and there are a variety of beliefs. It is said that an ignorant person or a worldly person has several different beliefs, but an enlightened person has no difference with anyone. Difference in thinking is there, so there are difference in living. Today, scenario is such that there is no unity among our own mind, speech, and body. What our mind thinks, what it means, what I think, I don't speak. What I speak, I don't do, I don't act. And due to this, there is diversity within me only. How am I supposed to live happily in such a diverse society? And whatever we think, it is directly connected to our living. That correlation. Various beliefs now. On this basis, we know intellectual, academic, religious, country, economical, social, what you call legal plurality. All every religion can have their own legal system. We want to focus on two aspects of our life: how to be happy myself, and dealing with others. How can I be living cordially so that I have a happy coexistence? Now, you can understand that the very fact we are born, we are conditioned. In family, I'm conditioned that way. If I'm born in a Muslim family, if I'm born in a Christian family, Hindu family, whatever, conditioned. Am I not conditioned? Am I not conditioned? Thoroughly conditioned. Thoroughly conditioned. My customs, so remember, it is all scientific, because I cannot be born in a family out of nothing. It is just not possible. So there is a reason, and due to that reason, something happens. And that's how my destiny works. Now, how to be, and this is all natural. Yet, this is all natural, because no one intervenes. I am whole and so responsible for my life. All these, whatever I'm saying, they are nothing but holistic revelations, and you will definitely find in some or the other darshan, belief, religion. But why we focus on, it's not new, because it is at the core of every religion. It is at the center of every religion. And whatever religions or darshan what we come across, it is part of the circle. So every circle has a center. So it can be said that all these religions, they are subset of the holistic science. If they understand and know this center, then they can definitely explore and give a great explanation that in this part the whole is naturally there. But I want to stick on to the part, that's why I cannot reach center. And life is stressful, we all know that. We can understand our life different phases: childhood, teens, youth, adulthood, middle age, old age, death, social, familiar, educational, and relations, various relations, how to live happily in this diverse situation. Einstein, he has talked about physical matter. He said that he observed and he gave us theory of relativity, which he combined with electromagnetism, gave a concept of unified field theory, but it has to do with the physical matter. And finally, he said that there is something called theory of everything, which will give answers to everything. Has to do with the physical matter only. And what holistic science has given, and one more thing, whatever they have said, it is not final. They have not reached finality. They feel that there should be some common unified field. Every human being natural, the answer is correct, but we don't have the solution. What they have said is correct in principle, but we are not able to justify that because that is the world of empirical and mathematics formula. So they will work on it. But what is holistic science saying? It explains and justifies activities of live matter. That's what we are concerned with. If they go to moon, they'll go to Mars, how is that going to change the quality of human life over here? So what is more important is matter and how we can coexist as complete, as whole, as a united one. That is the goal of holistic science. There's also said that how did Stephen Hawking, he brought the theory of black hole and Big Bang and all that stuff. What he has said, the whole story lies on the fact that we have to learn to understand what we see. I see things and I get affected. There is some problem with my vision. Same way, holistic science teaches me to cultivate a positive vision life situation. I will learn to observe, understand myself first. And if I can understand myself, I will understand everyone. So here lies the fact, how can I live with unified thinking in this visible diversity? Now, who is a man of perfection? Someone who can deal with all these situations in a very harmonious and balanced way, with no insistence, with an open mind, free from all inner vices. We all know, we are all diseased with inner vices. We all know that. Anger, pride, possessiveness. And everyone thinks, I know something. Is it not there? It's a wonderful thing. So the person who inspired this Holistic Science Research Center, Dada Bhagwan, and the founder who pushed everyone, that's why this has come up, that is today's torchbearer, His Divine Holiness Kannu Dadaji. And you know, Professor Emeritus K.L. Sheshagiri Rao, who was editor of the Encyclopedia of Hinduism, he was the one who gave this name, holistic science. Today, I think so, he's not there now. He passed away. But he was the one who gave this word, this name, holistic science. Okay, so we have to know what a world. Nobody seems happy. What kind of world is this? Now, happiness factor lies in unity through holistic inner science experience, and we can experience singularity in this plural world. Normally, if you see sociology and try to understand holistic science, they mean the same. But if you see science, then it has to do with the physical universe. And holistic science deals with physically living matter. And it is based on vision, that is discrimination-free vision. And the mission is acquire that vision. You live your life such that you become perfectly humble. So it is a path to become reaching perfect humility, that is oneness. And that's why when Dada Bhagwan, when he was small, in his school, he was asked in the mathematics class, what is given a problem of LCM, least common member. And he said, I got the answer. The teacher said, what is your answer? I found God. About. Because God is common in all. You cannot differentiate God with any living being. Separate any individual from God, because then only that person is living. So if I become 100% humble, so it is said that I become smaller than the smallest term, then I will earn a place in everybody's heart. And that's how remain united with everyone. I will not have any fight with a mosquito also, or any bug, any of the living being. Yes, no problem. It's a long story, because whatever I'm not able to say here, I will try to put in my paper. Oh. Okay, life's biggest challenge is to live with this body. And Dada has said, what time we are talking about, this body is the time. This body makes me run around. So if I've known this body, I have known everything. So body is the time. Learn with this body, live with this body, then I can deal with anyone. So time is a solution for every problem, means this. Okay. Yatha pinde tatha brahmande, yatha brahmande tatha pinde means this. If I want to know, if I can know this cosmos, then I have known this cosmos. So I don't have to run around and see that cosmos. So what remains further is human ego, what we see around. Now, just imagine, how did this research center was made? Reflection of human thinking. So whatever we see around, the man-made world is nothing but reflection of human ego only. And if that becomes amicable and balanced, then life will become wonderful. So in the core, what we need, the holistic principle is what? You decide and it will happen. We listen to all these stories. And in all these stories, what is the core message? You decide and it will happen. You all decided to come here, that's why you are here. People who decided to go in between, they have gone. Power of decision, that's what we need to encash in our life. Whatever we lack, we make a decision today and it will happen. People have reached that highest level of perfection just by this firm, clear decision only. So I will just take what was talked about bouquet in the morning. Family, yes sir. Family constitution today is like a garden. There are different plants, different flowers in a garden. So there are different type of people in the family. We can't expect a family constitution today like wherein only one type of plant or something is growing. So the only way to deal and live happily is don't speak. It is said that if the plants, the flowers or fruits had speech, they would have been fighting. And we also have speech. So that's how we should mind our word, mind our language, dealing with people. And if that we have learned, which is a core thing for human existence, coexistence, we are done. So I'll just quickly go through this. Several examples I'll be putting in my final paper, but let me see. Adjust everywhere is a constructive policy, and it's like, because, okay, one more thing. You all know very well. Every head thinks differently. And if I have to deal and live with any other individual, thinking, own belief, own way of living, if I have to live together, what is the master key to live together? Everywhere. The vastness of understanding and the science which is concealed in adjust everywhere is, you cannot fathom that. Sky is the limit. And there are several examples. I'll be putting in my paper some of them at least. So that's a constructive policy to remain positive, and that's how today outside is bad. But my free will, with this inner understanding of adjust everywhere, I will become unified with everyone. And that's how I live my life. Thank you.
Do people have some urgent questions? Ardent and urgent? Directed at the speakers? Lights off, please. Yeah. Mankan. Intervention, statements, differences. नहीं? कुछ भी नहीं? Or should I speak first and then you will think about asking? It is not the convention. Maybe I should go. At least you are losing time. In fact, the point was made that we are human only in name, but actually we are trying to be human. Tagore once said that it is easy for a flower to be a flower, but difficult for a human being to be human. It's not your birthright. It's the highest attainment and fulfillment of civilization. Therefore, basically, what we have here in Dadaji is an instruction on oneself from a mongrel human to become fully human. Now, examples are given. Arjun and Krishna's dialogue. Krishna himself is all things to all men, a man for all seasons, who accesses gopis through love, Arjuna through Sauharda and Maitri and Shishyata, Shishupala through hatred and violence, but he accesses. And he is also not a coward fleeing before a revolution or a solitary cloistered in a sanctuary, a benefactor advancing on chaos and darkness. So he is human, fully human. But the Mahabharata, the entire story is in people walking the Mahaprasthan mark. And all the struggles and victories, failures and hatreds, they end in renunciation. So there have been controversies. Mahabharata is a very complex tradition accumulated over thousands of years, whether it is Anushansa, Krishnakshaya Sukha, or it is something else. I mean, it is Tyaga, Bhoga. Bhoga is Nirjita by Tyaga, whatever it is. But basically, I feel that it is also a story of trying to human, the quadriga of, the four dimensions of human personality being brought together in a human being. Dr. Nayar's suffering, dukkha, and illustrations about the law of 12 reproductions. And one remembers that Dadaji always says that if you are suffering, it is you who are responsible, not the person who is inflicting suffering on you. So, because it is because of the kashayas which have entered you, which you have not been able to get rid of, and which are fructifying as prarabdha in your life. But he's not only talking about situation, he's also giving us the way out. And just as Buddha says that when you suffer from yourself, just like Dadaji. None else compels. And you whirl upon the wheel and hug and kiss its spokes of agony, its tires of tears, its nave of nothingness. Edwin Arnold's Light of Asia. So, even Mara-darshana, for instance, I mean, when one looks at the Mara-darshana, what people see these are two persons, I mean, dialectical fight between evil and good. Mara is the other face of Buddha. And Buddha, this trying to become Buddha, is the story of being human and getting rid of Mara. And therefore, I mean, the Rati, Piti and Trishna, or Adi, Vyadhi and Upadhi, I mean, in Dadaji, one could draw comparisons there. What is the klesha? What is the kashaya one is trying to get rid of? This, the other observation of Dadaji, that he is, even when one is trying for vairagya, it is beyond dukha garvita vairagya, garvita vairagya. It is jnana garvita vairagya. I mean, you suffer, so you desert, you escape. That's not the lesson. You battle, you combat the odds, you don't desert. And not you desert out of your senses being clouded, your intelligence being clouded. Ram Singh's intervention, which was very forceful because he is a man with ancient blood in him and with a lot of force in him. And so he feels also strongly. So I was afraid of being chided if I intervened. So I didn't. So now this, he's mentioned about the history of philosophy. One should remember, had spoken about a deep melee in Indian thought. That the Indians divinize the finite and finitize the divine. Therefore, they fall between two stools. And but Heidegger came back and said that if there is a defect, then it should be cured from within the womb of that thought, not from outside, not from extraneous interventions. Now, the fault is in the global cognitive colonialism, which is invading this country. Whenever we are talking about, various knowledge categories, that there is a blind acceptance of certain knowledge categories, whether it is in sociology or in history or in anthropology, in all knowledge systems, we're accepting certain knowledge categories blindly. We are not reinventing our knowledge categories. Was to reinvent the knowledge categories by his own internal ascesis. In his own way, he didn't have to be fully literate. His illiteracy was of a different kind, of a direct access to truth, as he said, by understanding, by anubhuti, about which I shall have opportunity to expand, has been always discussed as a quantum leap of consciousness in our darshan. So whether it is a Buddha or a Vivekananda or a Dadaji, I mean, he lived a longer time than, some of these people. They compressed centuries of human history. They overlapped, history on their sweeping wings. So they could intuit, what other people attain through lot of, study and edification. So that when we are talking about, this and Dadaji's discussion about Rinanubandha, that you are discharging debts which you have accumulated from past life. It is the Rinanubandha which you have to discharge. You are saddled with it. You can't help it. And illustration, Kamanam tam kamabhajam karomi, with regard to Nachiketas. Now, Nachiketas is every researcher. He is the person who is trying to search and research and find the truth. And this suggestion, ultimately, the dialogue between Nachiketas and Vajas and Jama, so the conclusion is that there should not be a Jamaraja, there should be Niyama Raja, as Dadaji suggests, that we should replace Namaraja by Niyama Raja. Niyama should be under the thrall of the Niyama Raja. So, we human beings today are like pilots in the cockpit of a jet plane, truck driver. So we are first careering towards destruction, and we have no time to stop and think or stare. And so Dadaji was trying to find a solution for this deep melee, which is driving people to their own destruction, accelerated destruction. And so when Deepakanandji, who is there is this discussion about, all this high energy physics, non-linear, mathematics and, mechanical, quantum mechanics and all. Loss of distance between matter and energy, particle and wave, and this theory of everything. So Hawking is talking about alternative histories within the science. What you observe, and the observer changes things observed, and they also create alternative histories. So one is never sure. Certainty goes into all realms of work and imagination. So the person at the center of the circle, like Dadaji, who is trying to get a 360 degrees point of view, the point of view, relative point of view located at different points of the circle, he is not using his into buddhi brahma. He is not resorting to drishti raga. He is resorting to a kind of of imagination which bridges the matter and energy. And there I have only looked through his dialogues. I'm quite sure there is a lot of orality which has not been unlocked. And this is the problem. And aphasia. Amnesia is loss of memory, and aphasia is loss of speech. Even if an idol to be set up for him, or a kind of a photograph to be put up for him, people are helpless. They have to have it, and they want to associate the thought with some kind of an image. And he himself should have agreed that people have to access, through different ways. He cannot deny it also. People will resort to their own sadharma and their own angle of vision to come to the absolute. So this LCM, this common indivisible number about which Dadaji spoke, which is also underlies the thought of Pinda Brahmandavada, or you see dharmas like Mahima Dharma, etc. And the circumstances, the Paramartha Mona, the deep womb of silence from which the thought emerges, Taddure Tadantike, I mean, which underlies our earliest, you see, sorties in thought, has come today to us, and one feels like talking with this Upanishadic Anuronyan, Mahato Mahyan, Atmasya Janto Guhita Guhayam, Tamakratuhu, Pashyati Vito Shokaha, Dhatu Prasadar Mahimanam Atmana. From the elements of intellection to understand what is going on. Because people had done that, the people who have discussed, people who have talked about today. So Dadaji's should be seen as part of that, all his statements, about which people have made an apologetic thing, though he is sometimes very assertive. What he is saying is should be correctly translated as the human potentiality of accessing the best and the finest in himself or herself. And that possibility, as Buddha used to say, I have walked the path. And now it is open. It is your privilege to walk it. I am no one. I am nameless. My track in the sky is like the bird in the sky. But it is trackless. But it is trackless through immensities of human and suprahuman explorations, and their engineering, philosophy, and other knowledge categories all converge. Thank you very much.
Friends, this is the session which is exactly in time, so precise. And I'm so happy that, by the time it was given, we have been able to complete. I request them to please any announcement.
Announcements, announcements.
Jai Sachidanand. First of all, I feel a little odd here because I'm the only person here on stage today who is not supposed to give a speech, so I feel good. But on behalf of the all audience here and all the people overseas who has watched, I'm sure some of this the speeches this day, the first day on the internet. I want to most humbly thank all of you, all the academic, divine speakers that are here today for the next couple of days. All of you, before you ever met Dadaji, have already had experience and wisdom, and how you are now using your knowledge and wisdom and experiences, the science and the true science that he has shown us, to do all of you for that. And this seminar we are having here the next 3 days, we feel it is another step of having Dada's vision of Jagat Kalyan flow for many years to come, because science is going to be always. It's not going to diminish, it's going to further. And with all the great scholars we have here today, we just salute all of you. So namaskar to all of you. And then also, I think all of you that research center, you probably feel that the temple here, the research center, vibrations here are very different, or they're very, as stress, the positive energies you feel here. The next venue we have, you're going to feel the same way. All the matas that are here from US, Dadaji many years ago said to them, retire, what are you going to do? And, because in the US, as you all know, people live a busy life there, very hustle bustle type of life. And so Dadaji said, you should come to India and retire there. We are going to have the dinner this evening at 7 o'clock is going to be at the US Housing Society, where we are very blessed, all the Mahatmas that stay there. We feel it is our moksha, that, Dada's science, we feel it's sakshat, his presence is there just like it is here and at the temple also. So we invite all of you to have a very good time for the next half hour or so here, and then we convene at 7 o'clock, and we'll go to the U.S. Housing Society, bungalow number 58, and the dinner is going to be served there. We also have a few gifts here to pass out also. Just a second.
Yeah, you can.
Professor Ramji, Jai Satchidanand, thank you. आपने आइंस्टाइन की बात की ने, और हिरोशिमा भी जाके आए ने, लेकिन आपको पता नहीं वो बॉम्ब कहाँ बना था। हाँ, तो अमेरिका में 5 लेबोरेटरी है, रिसर्च सेंटर, एंड ओकरीज came from all different parts of the lab. Tennessee, there is a hometown of Einstein, where the bomb created, and that's a hometown also Dada Bhagwan. He has put the peace bomb there for liberation of the human being. Jai Satchidanand.
So, Vasant Bhai lives in Oak Ridge. Dr. Radhakrishnan, who is the president of HSCRF USA, also lives there. He had worked with the National Energy Laboratory of USA, and there we had the international conference in 2010. Well, all the guests are requested to be here at the gate around 7:30. After relaxing, the transportation will be ready to be taken to the American Housing Society. And now that we have the informal time, all those who have inquisitiveness or questions, we will be available even in the middle of the night. If your strength is there, we have double the strength. Tomorrow we will have a formally designed session from 8 to 9:30 or 10 in the evening. But meanwhile, we all are open and we all invite you to know every small things. Why 3 temples? What is the science? What is this? What is that? So let's make best of you.
I don't have to announce it. The session is dissolved.